Here are a few different factors we ask customers to consider when evaluating different AMR software. One important factor is the ability to integrate with existing systems, and there's a number of different types of integrations you have to worry about. First, the robots aren't moving material for its own sake. They're moving material because they want to pick it up and drop it off somewhere. So the ability to coordinate material transfer with equipment endpoints is critical. Now, the robots don't know what to move and why. Those jobs are triggered generally from an ERP, an MES, or WMS. So your fleet management software needs to have great APIs for those to connect to. Also, you want to be able to integrate with critical IT systems like the authentication server so that you know who's using the system should be using the system. And you also want your software to be able to work in conjunction with generic traffic management systems that are managing your EGV or manual traffic so that everything works together, not just AMRs on their own. The second consideration is the ability to remain productive in a tight, dynamic environment. A lot of auto deployments are in brownfield facilities, which can have narrow aisles, limited space, or a lot of other human or other vehicle traffic. And that can impede the traffic flow by blocking the robots, or even interfere with the AMR's ability to localize themselves and know where they are on the map, and all of that limiting productivity. So the software that you select has to have features in place to keep the robots moving in the face of obstacles and not get lost when things change around the robot. And lastly, and for us very importantly, is the scalability of the solution. You may not think of scale immediately when you're evaluating your first couple of robots, but as the deployment grows, you really don't want to find out you have a scalability problem 20 robots in and then have to figure out how to change your vendor. So you want to worry about things like how many robots the software can manage on a single system. Ask the AMR vendor what is their largest deployment on a single fleet manager. It's not just about putting the robots in the list. It's about keeping them productive when there's a lot of them going in the same place. Think about like how cars get stuck in rush hour. You really don't want that in your factory. You also want to check on all of the limits, not just the number of robots. You want to think about the map size, the number of traffic management zones, the number of endpoints that you're connecting to, the number of jobs, the number of API connections, number of UI connections. You want to think about how efficiently you use space at scale. You don't want to be wasting space with more parking spaces or chargers than you need. And lastly, commissioning experience. It's all well and good if it takes a little while to get your first robot up and running, but you really don't want that experience to repeat over and over again as you get your 10th, 20th, 100th robot. So does it get easier to add robots and endpoints and jobs as the deployment grows, or does it feel like you're starting over again? Those are just some of the things that we think about when evaluating AMR software.